episode 16 of the Camera Roll vlog. My name is Garcia, and this is a Deserted Texas special. 3 years ago, 4 friends and I embarked on a journey to the ghost town of Helena, Texas. We spent 2 days filming, and at the time, it was the biggest production we had ever worked on together. Our cameras were just a few weeks old, we got them under the tree for Christmas, and we were going to make a full-length documentary on Texas ghost towns. Despite our hard work, some of our footage got lost, and we were never able to edit our first and only episode of Deserted Texas. So, with a little love and a lot of creativity, I've been able to save our first episode so it can now be shared with the world. I am proud to present to you the first episode of Deserted Texas and the 16th episode of my Camera Roll vlog. I hope to make many more with Johnny, Joel, and Charles. And we now have 2 new team members, Christian Giron and William Timmerman. I hope to make a lot more of these episodes, but this is exciting. I've been waiting 3 years to see the final product as a completed piece. So with no further ado, I want to introduce you to Ramona Noon, and let's learn a little bit about the history of Helena, Texas.
My name is Ramona Noon, and I'm the Karnes County Historical Society curator.
So Ramona, we're sitting in what was one of the most important buildings in Old Town Helena. Can you tell us a little bit about this building and the many different purposes it had in its years?
Well, originally, this was the second courthouse built in 1873. It replaced the first courthouse that was destroyed in a storm and fire. And when this was the county seat, the courthouse was utilized at that point here. Then when the county seat moved to Karnes City, we used this building as a schoolhouse from 1895 to 1945. So it's been used both as a courthouse and a schoolhouse.
So we're sitting on the deck of Helena's old post office. Can you please tell us a little bit about this building and its first postmaster, Thomas Ruckman?
Well, Mr. Thomas Ruckman was the first postmaster when this post office was built in 1854, and the post office was actually across the street in the John Ruckman General Store. And then when this was turned into a museum, they brought it over here inside the Jefferson Square. And this post office closed in 1951.
Wow, okay, so there's a pretty big history to it. And another historical part of this post office is this Helena 5 postage stamp. Can you please elaborate a little bit about this and its importance to Helena?
Well, during the Civil War, there were only 7 cities in the state of Texas that were authorized to have their own postage stamp. This is a very limited edition postage stamp, and it currently has a value of approximately $5,000 because it was only used during the Civil War, and some people consider it also a Confederate stamp.
Wow, well, that's what I call putting your stamp on history. Now, Helena is well known for being one of the most violent cities in Texas, and in a town with 13 saloons and 1 church, it all makes sense. As a matter of fact, it was in these very streets where the famous Helena duel was born. They would tie the left hands of the 2 opponents together and give them each a small knife with a 3-inch blade. They would end up stabbing each other until one of them eventually bled out and died. Those who didn't die, however, or those charged with lesser crimes, would be jailed in iron crates such as these, or they would have to wait for sentencing, many of whom received justice through the tight loops of the hangman's noose. Which brings us to our next attraction. For many years after the Civil War, Helena was known as a stronghold for Confederate sympathizers, and it had become almost commonplace to witness Union soldiers coming into Helena to round up and hang those still loyal to the Confederate flag. This is where many of those hangings took place. Ramona, can you tell us a little bit about this tree and the role it had in Helena's justice system?
Well, this is one of the trees that is known to be the hanging tree for the courthouse. So if you were taken to trial at the courthouse across the street, and you were sentenced to die by hanging, they would walk you over here and just hang you here. And in those days, hanging was like a main event for people. They would pack their picnic baskets and bring the family and kids to watch the hangings.
Oh, wow. And I understand this building behind us has a pretty interesting history as well. Can you talk about that a little bit?
This building is 2 in 1. The one to the right side is the Mayfield Carver General Store, and to our left will be the Alameda Masonic Lodge. And this is where the Masonic Lodge started, and in later years it moved to Kennedy, where it now resides.
All right, so we're here in the John Ruckman house, who was a very influential citizen of Helena and the brother of Thomas Ruckman. Could you please elaborate a little bit on the Ruckman family and John Ruckman in this house?
This house was built in 1878 from Cyprus that was delivered from Florida. And as you can tell, it's withheld a lot of years. It's a beautiful home, very peaceful. Mr. John Ruckman, his wife, and 8 children lived here. And it's just a very peaceful type of home. Mr. Ruckman, as you said, was the brother of Thomas Ruckman, the founder. And he had various roles as a postmaster, rancher, merchant, a little bit of everything. He had the John Ruckman General Store that we saw the post office from earlier, so he was played different roles in this community.
Awesome. Now, I know there's been some reports of paranormal activity on the grounds of Helena, and it had a very violent past. So can you kind of elaborate on any experiences you've had with that yourself, and then anything you've heard from other people?
Well, in the last 2 years or so, we've had a lot of interest from the paranormal groups, and different groups say they find different things or hear different things. Me personally, I'm never looking for ghosts, so I don't find anything or hear anything. And to me, this house is very peaceful. But then, like I said, I just come and I clean it up and make it nice for visitors and the family. And since I'm not looking for nothing, I find nothing. But paranormal groups have found different things or recorded different things, not only at the Ruckman House, but in various buildings of the museum complex.
Thanks for hanging around, and stay tuned for our next adventure as we explore what remains of a thriving resort community known as Old Sutherland Springs. My name is Johnny Guajardo, and be sure to keep your gas tank full, because you never know when the road might lead you to deserted Texas.
Oh hey, you're still here. Thanks for watching the video to the end. I do appreciate that. Please like, subscribe, and comment. I do read those comments and reply. And check out desertedtexas.com. Learn more about our Deserted Texas team and some of the other trips we've gone on. And please share this video. I like to see the view count go up. It encourages me to make more videos. It really means a lot to me. And do consider donating to your local historical society, because preserving history is really important. You can't know where you're going unless you know where you came from. So thanks to the Karnes County Historical Society for allowing us to film this. And until next time, see you later.